Hi, I'm Danielle from CaptivatingCostumes.com. This is part 9 of my Reboot Proton Pack build. In this episode, we're going to be discussing sounds. Stay tuned. After this traumatic experience last week with the motherboard snapping,
they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I decided that the Proton Pack needs some structural additions. So if you have a look at my screen, I'm on eBay at the moment, and I found this stuff called mild steel flat bar, and it's 1000 millimeters long, which is a meter, 3 centimeters wide, and 3 millimeters deep. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half and put one up each side of the Proton Pack, and on that I can bolt the toolbox and all of the bits that attach to the edge of the board and the straps. So with this on, I won't have to worry about the pack flexing or bending or snapping. So I'm going to order those now, and hopefully I'll be able to get them fitted by the time this video goes out. So I'm going to buy 2 meters because I need one for my Proton Pack and one for Kat's. So let's head over and buy some steel. The problem is it will add to the weight, but not as much as using an entire metal motherboard, so I don't mind this. So by the looks of it, I'll be receiving it by Friday. It's currently Wednesday. I've literally just posted this week's video out. So let's confirm and pay. Order was placed. Will be here by Friday. In the meantime, let's start talking about the soundboard. I'd like to start getting this... Who's that? Oh. Okay, wait 2 seconds. That was quick. The metal bars have arrived. So I need to get these weighed up and see how much extra each one is going to add to the Proton Packs. As you can see, the two of them together are 1.5 kilos. So half that. And we're looking at adding an extra 750 grams onto each Proton Pack. That's not bad. So here they are. Definitely not the most prettiest of things, but they don't exist for aesthetics, they're just for structural support. So we need to get one of these cut in half, drill some holes in it, attach it to the back of the Proton Pack, and then I will be happier. Oh, it actually feels a lot lighter on its own. I don't think that's really going to add much worth noting. Evening, I managed to attach the speaker. I wired it up with a cable first because now that it is screwed on to the synchrotron, there's no way that I'm going to get underneath it again unless I take those screws out, which I have no intention of doing. So, if I pick it up, you can see it now has the speaker attached. So, next on the agenda is to get the speaker grill and attach that on to make it look slightly better. And I mentioned previously that I wanted the heat sink to turn on top. So when the Proton Pack starts up, this will turn 180 and then come back again. And I've got these real beefy servos in here. And the problem is, with that mounted in the center, the heat grill is... the heat sink is really high. So I need to come up with another method, perhaps smaller servos or maybe a belt-driven system on the heatsink. Also, the fact that the heatsink moves means it's probably not a heatsink anymore, but it will look cool. So there's the screen box attached as well. I have attached it with speaker brackets. I've screwed them to the side of it and just bolted it to the motherboard. So the only thing I'm worried about now is remembering where each of these wires go, because there's about 1,000,000. So many wires in here, but there's a general layout. This breadboard won't be here. I'm looking to get rid of that as soon as possible. After chopping all the wires up and doing some chopping, slicing, twisting, heat shrinking and general bodging, turns out I managed to get the cables in the right order again. So that's one less thing to worry about. So I've been spending some time this morning playing with Audacity and a few of the sound effects that I have. In this folder here, I have absolutely tons and tons of sound effects. And I've been through them all to see which ones I actually quite like. There's all sorts of stuff in here, like sounds from the video game. I think that was some kind of grenade or something. An opening of a slime. There really is just tons of things in here. And I spent quite a while going through them all to decide which ones I wanted. I think that this sound pack file is available on GBFANS. By the time the video goes out, I will have located where I got this from, and I will link it into the description. But as you can see, there's tons of sounds on here. Now, one of my favourite sounds was from a guy from one of the Ghostbusters groups, and I can't remember his name right now, but I will also link that in the description. And that is my startup sound. I'm afraid I can't really give that one away because it's not mine to give away, but I can link to the person who owns that file. Now, what I've also done is taken a few other things, like the Proton beam looping, which is this sound. And I wanted to have it with the blast at the beginning. So I used Audacity, added the blast at the beginning. I also wanted the overheat venting warning attached to it and the vent at the end. So this is the file that I came up with. You heard the main explosion as the proton beam starts. And then we have the full venting sound that we're all used to. The other sound that will be going into the thrower is obviously the humming, which you might be able to hear. The proton gun power up, I think. Which is the one that everyone's used to. And obviously the Ghostbusters theme. So, and the final thing is the beam power down. So when you release the trigger, it plays this sound. I have 3 more spaces left on the Adafruit Audio Effects soundboard. I've got the 16 megabyte version, which has enough space to hold 11 songs. Now I've got all the sound effects that I need and the original Ghostbusters theme tune, and I still have 3 spaces left, including track 00. So what I have decided to do is go for Holtzman's favourite and include this. I think it would be rude not to. I think that's about all I can play before I get done for copyright. So that song will also be included on the Proton pack, as well as 2 others which I haven't decided on yet. You could comment and give me some ideas and suggestions of songs that you'd like to see on the Proton pack. Previously I had some of the songs from the original Ghostbusters film, but the final 2 songs are up to you guys, so let me know what you'd like to see on it, and I will pick 1 or 2. For testing purposes, I have the soundboard hooked up via 3.5 jack to my sound bar for my telly, so it's really bassy. I'm powering it, piggybacking off the back of one of the Arduino Pro Minis. So basically the Pro Mini's taking the power and passing it over to the soundboard. So I can just test this by using the sound bar. I know that number 1, pin 1, which you might be able to see here, is the main startup sound. So if I ground that pin, and then on pin 2, you have the humming, which you might not be able to hear. Pin 3, Proton pack power down. Pin 4 is the fire button. Let's plug that in so we get all the way to the venting. And that will continue to loop now. Pin 5 is the main Proton pack power up sound. Pin 6, Proton pack power down. Pin 7 is the theme tune. Pin 8 is a vent by itself. Pin 9 is the DeBarge song. Let's plug that one in. And as you can see, I still have pin 10 and pin 0 available, which together makes 11. Now you may have noticed that on some of these pins I was able to press and release 6, and on some of them I had to hold, like the theme tune. As soon as I let go, that will stop. And that depends on how you load them onto the soundboard. Well, from doing this before, I know which sounds I need to have attached to what is known as a hooking mechanism, so that whilst the button is low, the sound plays. And I know which buttons I need to have where you can press and release the button and the entire sound plays. So they're all set up ready now. I just need sounds 0 and 10, which you guys are going to decide. And I know what happened with Boaty McBoatface, and if the songs that you choose are crap, I will not use them, so poke it. I've now got the amplifier hooked up to the Adafruit Audio Effects soundboard, and the amplifier, if we follow this cable around forever, eventually gets to the speaker in the Proton pack. So I've taken it off the TV soundbar now, and it's time to try it all on its own. So I've got the 12 volt power brick plugged in to the amplifier, and what you are meant to be able to do, if you can see these pins here, right, left and ground, they're supposed to be the audio out for obviously right, left and ground, and they are supposed to go into this terminal block here on the amplifier. The problem is, for some reason, my hardware is not working properly, and I've tried everything and I can't figure out why, and I'm sick of it now. So instead, I have decided to hook the soundboard up to the amplifier by this massive 3.5 lead. So, but at least we're getting the audio through now. So I've ordered a couple of 3.5 jacks off the internet, which I will just connect up onto a smaller cable. But for now, we can test the speaker and sound effects. So let's put some power into the soundboard. As you can see, everything start lighting up. I know that this blue rail here is ground, and all I have to do is ground each pin in order to get them to make sounds. So if I ground one, and then likewise as I make my way up all of the different pins. So you get the idea. And because we all love it so much, let's hear that song again. And that'll do before I get done for copyright. So that's all I've got time for today. As you can see, I've got quite a lot done. I didn't end up getting the steel bars fitted because although I edited them into the video to make it look like they came immediately, which I will admit was absolutely hilarious, they actually didn't come until the day when I was due to upload this video. So I'm afraid they can't be fitted, and hopefully they will be fitted by next week. So, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, tell everybody about it, worship me, buy me loads of presents for Christmas, and happy Halloween. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Love you all. See you next time.